Halfway done, Arkansas with a 9-1 lead, more runs than hits as Arkansas has picked up a 3-run homer from Kojal, a 2-run homer from Iredale, and a 2-run homer from Aloy. That would do it. Colin Fisher good in this start as well.
That's some nice production out of the power part of the lineup for Arkansas. Batters 4 through 6. How about 5 for 5? That'll get it done.
I'd say that's pretty good. New pitcher as well for the Bears, Luke Lorence, Little Rock native, Central High School product. On to work here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
Yeah, Lorence is a 2-pitch mix guy. See his numbers right there. So far, 4 1/3 innings, but he'll sit about upper 80s with that. Fastball might touch 90. We'll mix in a slider as well, and like a lot of relief pitchers, just focusing on those 2 pitches.
So true freshman out of Little Rock Central. He's going to get a couple of freshmen in the Arkansas lineup, Becker and Frazier, before the top in Davalon. Becker now 1 for 2 in the game. It's an Arkansas team, as I mentioned, that since this homestand has started, raised its batting average 51 points. They've jumped up in several team categories. Razorbacks trying to win their 12th straight game. Good pitch and a wave and a miss. Trying to go to 16-1, and when you start to think, well, what does that mean, and how does that rank up with other seasons? Big cut and a miss. A win would improve Arkansas, obviously, to 16-1. It would match their best 17-game start to a season in the Dave Van Horn era.
It's pretty impressive. There's
Hogs
some really good teams.
Yeah. 2005, they were 16-1. 2006, they were 16-1. But, just through the natural rhythms of our sport, you'll drop a game here or there. Wave and a miss. So Becker will K against Lorence to begin this Arkansas 5th inning.
Really nice job by Lorence right there. Threw a couple of sliders on the outside corner, got ahead in the count, and then threw one just off the plate. You always talk about 2-strike pitches and being competitive. That was a great one right there.
Well, there's your best starts, and that gets my attention. I was doing a Perfect Game college baseball show today, Troy, and Perfect Game is the one outlet that has not ranked Arkansas as high as others. And there's a ground ball to first off the bat of Frazier. It's going to result in and out. And there's 2 gone. I mean, as far as the rankings go, it is different. We talked about the Hogs being ranked 3rd. I think PG had a 8th. They were 3, 3, 5, 8, and 3 in some of the polls. And the Perfect Game folks said, well, maybe you've noticed that we've been a little bit late to move Arkansas up. And I said, well, yes. As a matter of fact, I have. He goes, well, so have your fans. They've let us know. And their point was, Arkansas had some frustration at the end of each of the last 2 years. And they kind of wanted to see it over an extended period of time. And Davalon steps in. He scored 2 more runs today, even though he doesn't have a hit. He's 0 for 2. But, I don't get too worked up. I don't think many people do about the rankings because it'll sort itself out as we go forward in this meat grinder of a conference schedule.
Yeah, I think so. I think probably what those guys from Perfect Game were also looking at is, the offensive numbers has been lacking in the last few years for Arkansas.
No doubt.
And they're just like, okay, is this offense for real? And so far, it looks like it is. And granted, that's got to translate, like you said, into SEC play with some elite pitching and, some high velocity. But, the Arkansas hitters got to hit off the Arkansas pitchers in the fall, and they had some success.
Well, they do. And, Tennessee was one of those teams there was some skepticism just because of the schedule that they played. But, they keep winning or demolishing people, and you're like, well, at some point you're looking at the totality of what they produced more so than just the wins against certain teams. And Davalon, guess what? He's on base again. So he's walked twice, reached on in air. He scored a couple of runs, and he just seems to keep trotting to first base.
Tell you what, that's what you want your leadoff hitter to do. And when you got guys like Aloy and Maxwell and Aloy behind you, just get on base somehow. You're going to get knocked in.
Fajitas 0 for 3. Twice he's listened to Troy and hit the ball into the wind at the warning track of the fence and right.
All right, Fajiva, pull this one.
Yeah, just hit it towards the bullpen or the hog pen and stop listening to Troy. because clearly everything he had done prior to listening to Troy has worked out splendidly. Well, that one's not close. He and his brother were tied with 6 home runs apiece with Iredale, and both Cahillo and Iredale have homered. So now he's trailing them both. Pitch carries outside again, 2-1.
You can definitely see the game plan for Lorence. He is wanting to stay away from those Arkansas hitters, just nibbling on that outside corner and then trying to expand it as well.
Came over the inside corner now, and I think he kind of locked up Vahiva and got the benefit of maybe a pitch at the top of the zone, called a strike. Vahiva, one of those Razorbacks who came in batting better than 400. He's going to wave and miss. That will end the inning. Nice inning from Lorence. Works around a walk. Remains an 8-run Arkansas lead. We know the Dodgers won the World Series last year. At the beginning of the year when they weren't playing that great, Troy, there was one guy really kind of leading their rotation. It was Gavin Stone, the former Bear. Was at UCA 2018 to 2020, 5th-round pick. In fact, last year he was 11-5 with an ERA of 3.5. Now he's had shoulder surgery. He's going to miss this year. The Dodgers, of course, didn't go out and add Snell and Sasaki to their rotation, but Gavin Stone did a great job last year early in the season for the LA Dodgers.
Yeah, he really did. And again, he was really dominant at UCA through his years down there from 18 to 20. And you're right, 11 wins in the show, 5 losses. That's pretty salty.
Big-time number is 140 innings of work. Meanwhile, Arkansas, they've gone to their bullpen. They're going to bring on Dylan Carter to replace Bybee. He's the 3rd pitcher used tonight.